There are thousands of veterans across West Michigan, but for those who have not served, it can be difficult to understand what that's like. We've invited 5 veterans, each representing a branch of the military, to give us some insight this Memorial Day weekend. To our veterans, what do you tell people when they ask you what you did in the military?
For me, I like to break it down into layman's terms. If I tell someone I'm a precision military equipment technician, that doesn't really mean a whole lot. So I like to say I'm an electrical engineer.
That makes it easy to understand.
I was a cook, so that's what I did.
Well, I was with Airborne Command Post, and we were the ones that controlled the airstrikes in Vietnam. So that in itself, you were 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So frankly, we flew.
How about you?
I was a yeoman in the U.S. Coast Guard. So to break a yeoman down, I would have to say personnel, admin, assistant, secretary, pretty much.
I was a military policeman, so we were what's considered an infantryman with a peacetime mission.
What a diverse group of, of what you did, what you're serving. What are some of the misconceptions that people have when you tell them about the military, or in particular your branch?
Coast Guard, like when I go home and tell them I retired out of the Coast Guard and say that I was stationed in Topeka, Kansas, there's no water in Topeka, Kansas, but Topeka, Kansas has the paying personnel for all military or Coast Guard personnel.
Interesting.
In the Coast Guard.
With Navy, a lot of them think of us as, I guess, lazy in a sense, because we're all cruising around on ships.
Oh, I don't know. Do you really think that's a misconception?
My favorite one is being a Marine, that all Marines are dumb. I come across that a lot, but being an electrical engineer, and there's a lot of different fields that the service members serve in all branches.
I think that the misconception is all 5 service branches, though. People believe that if you go in the military as opposed to going into college right away, it's because you don't have the ability, the mental capacity to take on college.
Right.
And I actually believe it's quite the opposite. You have mental and physical strength and are able to conquer more.
And when you come back from the military, if you decide to go to college, that also is a great benefit as well, having served.
Well, Julia, I graduated from college, from Western Michigan, but the funny thing was, at that time, you couldn't get a job. This was during Vietnam. So I just kind of took my chances, and over the years, it just kind of blossomed. So even though you had a college degree, and then I didn't really want to go in the officer corps, because in the Air Force, you have more fun as enlisted because you get to fly all the time. So anyway, but I think so. A lot of people say, oh gosh, he's a college grad. But right now, in the higher enlisted fields, you have to have a college degree.
Okay, so this is a brief question that I'd like each one of you to answer. What do you wish that people would say or not say when talking to you about your service?
I wish, honestly, the most annoying question ever asked me is if I've ever shot or killed anyone. I don't believe that's a question should be asked of any military person or police officer.
Next.
I got to second that. I mean, for those that have taken a life, it's something to be taken seriously, and it's typically not something that you would talk or brag about.
Like, thank you for your service. At first, I never knew what to say, and so then after a little while, because I would always just be like, well, you're welcome. And after a while, it just kind of was like, you know what? Thank you for your appreciation.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, you two quickly.
Well, I think generally, I've never had a problem with it. Never had a problem. People come up to me and say, oh, you've served in the service. That's great. So I've never really had a problem.
One misconception is that the United States Coast Guard is not part of the Department of Defense, or so I have to kind of, there's one more. There's a 5. Yeah. So, and also when people say, well, thank you for serving, I was not used to that. I mean, I served, it's my duty, you know, so thank you. That's all I can come up with.
And thank you.